Okay, so in the last 2 weeks, I apologize for not being here last weekend. There were some meetings here on Thursday and again Saturday and Sunday. Had to do with the new Space Force and some agreements they thought that they were going to come to make. They were told, not just by me, but by other people as well, that we're not redoing any of the agreements that we already have. It's already set in stone. Interesting, though, they said they were coming on behalf of Trump, and that really doesn't have anything to do with Trump. That's a whole nother level of communications. So that was last weekend. They're still continuing to discuss things. There were some unseen generals, in other words, ones that you don't see in the news there, and but have been behind the scenes for many, many years, unhappy about the fact that I'm a female, not a male. I should be a male. Oh, you can't see me? Someone's typing, they can't see me?
We can see. I had you pinned as the...
No, someone says I look like a ghost.
Oh,
Am I like fading out?
You're a little bit faded out, yeah.
I didn't put it on the other camera. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, next, let's see. Mnuchin is feverishly going all around the world looking for funds. Apparently his Chinese elder or Chinese faction of the Black Sun is out of money or can't support this new bill, which is why they kicked the can down the road a little bit, stating that what was supposed to happen by the end of July is now going to happen in August. Mnuchin is called everybody he can possibly think of, including the Vatican yesterday, trying to get funds. Well, apparently my chroma key is off. Okay. Well, it's this camera. I'll plug in another camera in a minute. Okay, next. So far he's been very unsuccessful. We got a call last night asking about funds and funds transfers and would we be willing to help, and we said sure, as long as the people get their 2%, we're okay. So we'll see. They haven't called me yet today. I'm expecting a call a little later today to figure out what they've decided or what they could possibly do. You know, they could have opened an account for us at any moment at the Treasury Department. They could have opened an account at the Fed. They could have opened an account at the post office. We've given them multiple opportunities to actually do the right thing. And all they really want us to do is just continue to fund stimulus. And we, the people, get $1,200. I'm not really sure how that works out. it's not really working for me. So we'll see what happens this week. Next.
Kim, wait, while you're there, can you just clarify that you did, in fact, fund the government for an entire, year and a halhalf?
Several times.
And for every dime of that, there's a...
The U.S. alone, 4.5%, 4.5 trillion total, not including the debt paid off to the Fed. That was about 196, but that just went from our right hand to our left hand. But they did receive all the paid in full Treasury notes. The U.S. government technically is not obligated to the Fed anymore at this moment.
So the entire debt owed by the United States to the Federal Reserve is really gone. And
it's been gone for almost 2 years. It actually has been 2 years. Sorry.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual functioning of the government, you funded to make sure to keep the government afloat now for over a year and a half, right? Or I guess it is 2 years now.
No, it's since March of 2017 was the first transfer.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, to disrupt your flow. A lot of people I don't think have that background and really don't understand that.
March 18th, 2017, first transfer.
And then, in this, every transfer that went out, there was a 2% administration fee that should have come back to the trust that you have already said that you would have obviously used for funding humanitarian projects around the world. And every time that 2% has never come back so far.
Well, on every World Bank contract, every funding contract from the Fed, every single contract always had 2 to 2.5% that went to the old trustee groups. So your elders and your and your Rothschilds and all of these other people. We are not receiving anything at this moment. And just to be fair, the trust releases the additional 2% on top of the requested amount. So we're not asking for the government to give us anything. Therefore, it's not money laundering or anything like that. We include the fee on top. They were supposed to put it into an account for us, and they haven't yet. So, you know, we're kind of, for the last 6 to 8 months, I've been holding pretty firm, with them on, we need our piece. Technically, the 2% is supposed to be used for security for myself and the people that work with me. It's supposed to be used for office space and various locations. It's supposed to be used for all the things that you would normally have to run a successful operation. That is the issue we're having now. So, I basically, it's so much money, it's so much money, there's no need for that much money to have an office and some personnel. So that's why I said, well, we're going to use the 2% for project funding as well, and for getting things like Life Force and whatnot up and running properly. And the other side knows that. But yeah, we're kind of holding firm on that one. So Trump has made 2 agreements thus far to help us. He made one with JP Morgan and one with Bank of America, and we paid the fees that they asked for. I've done it countless times with virtually every major institution on the planet, and they'll take their $100 million spiff to, for example, the CEO or the entire $100 million per board member, which is what Bank of America and JP Morgan asked for, plus the back office, which is your CIA people. They all asked for 7%, 5%, some varying amount. We paid it gladly, then 10% to the Secret Service, and all of these people wanted all this money. All we wanted was ours. Right. We didn't care how greedy they were. We just wanted ours. And we never got it. Not one time has any of these people ever adhered to any agreement they ever made with us or the President of the United States. And the banks are not complying. The Fed has made deals with us. We transferred money to the Fed. We had to pull that money back because some guy named Lee from China called and told them to stop and that we're going to send you the money tomorrow. Well, that was a year ago, and tomorrow has not come yet. So, they called panicking. That's next on the intel list.
Mnuchin walked into the president's office with gold certificates, right?
Oh, yes, fraudulent ones.
Official gold certificates with, I think, one of the Lee's names on it, right? Gave it to the president to show that he was coming through, and when the president entered it into the system, it was you. Your name was on it, right?
Yep, every single one of them.
Seems like that would have been proof enough, right? Wouldn't that have been proof enough? Like, if this is how you're funding the whole RV or all this, whatever.
Well, they also tried to fire Mnuchin, and Mnuchin promptly told Trump he doesn't work for him.
Oh, boy.
We have made one successful transfer that credited outside the United States.
Woohoo!
It credited today. That's right.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yay!
Right. That's
Congratulations.
awesome.
All it takes is one.
That's fantastic.
So there's a little bit of a story behind this that I thought was funny. So for about a month or two, the latest story coming out of the Black Sun and then therefore the CIA and all of these people is they're basically telling the President of the United States that there is no more trust. Kim's not there anymore. Kim can't transfer money anymore. It's just us. Now you have to come to us because we're the only ones in the world with money left, and all of these types of things. And so this was an interesting little turn of events. So the Mossad did try to block this, and a few other agencies, let's just say, and they were unsuccessful in doing that. And word got out to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they actually flew over there. You can see it in the news. They flew over to this particular location in the middle of a pandemic, which is unheard of, and checked the funds himself as ordered. And he checked and he saw that the money was transferred and all of these types of things. And this particular general then came back and confirmed everything to the White House. And now the entire world, I'm glad we waited about a month or two before we actually made this transfer from the day the rumors started, because it actually made them look like a fool. Use a technique called a hacking technique called a border computer, where they're all shooting flares at the same time, and it's meant to overload a firewall. This will be about the 184th time they've done the same thing to our firewall, but this time they couldn't even find the firewall. So we're doing a great job in protecting funds and making small strides in another country with a small transfer, which has been confirmed by the White House, and all of the agencies are very upset. They're looking for a new lie to tell about Kim this week. So I'm waiting to hear about that. We'll report that next week. I'm sure there'll be a good one.
So Kim, they can't find the firewall now, but with all these hackers, the best hackers in the world, constantly attacking the trust, did they breach the firewall before?
Oh yeah, they did before. They would have actually tapped the firewall.
Did they ever break through it though? Like the first did they ever break through the first firewall or anything like that?
No, never. No.
The best hackers in the world, nonstop for 8 years. They have never.
No, actually 13.
13 years. The best hacker in the world, nonstop for 13 years. They have never broken the wall. And now, instead of getting better, they actually can't find it. It makes me so happy. I don't even know what to do with myself. Okay. All right. Carry on.
That's what Omega did. It actually did. So all the base platforms for telecoms are over here. All the base platform for the internet's over here. Base platform for intelligence and military systems is over here. Everything is over here now. And that was what everything over here was built on. So we just cut the foundation of the house, moved the house over here, and then just kept working over here. Is what we basically did. And they're now firing flares into the wind, hundreds of thousands overnight. So that was the 21st to the 22nd, to give you an update on that. Now, word has gotten out around the world about this transfer, and everybody's talking about it. Part of the reason why they're talking about it is that a lot of this transferring had to do with personal protection equipment,